North and South Carolina. We're going to zoom in on East Tennessee, where we do have some wintry weather up in the Smokies and in around Gatlinburg, and then shift a bit further south so you can see where that rain is falling off to the south of Tampa and in between Tampa and Fort Myers. Some of those showers are hitting the ground. Hardly anything really worth noting in terms of the temperatures once you get into South Florida. They're sitting at 80 degrees in Miami, but you shift a lot further north and you do see that dramatic drop in temperatures hovering near the 40 mark in Atlanta, into the mid-30s in Memphis, and New Orleans hanging there into the 40s. As we continue to watch that frontal boundary work out of the way, we'll still have some windy conditions left, but high pressure works in for tomorrow. Temperatures only picking up but so much, but you will make it to around 60 degrees as we enter into Orlando, but it's going to be so much brighter on the whole across the southeast on Sunday. We're taking a live look over New York City right now, where your temperatures are parked in the low 30s at this time. Going to pick up just a couple more degrees before the day is out, and then of course we're going to be talking about a lot more sunshine for tomorrow. Of course, Alex, before the day's end, we're going to see a little bit of snow in NYC.
Yeah, so folks haven't gotten into that winter spirit. We'll certainly get into it now, and the good news is that activity should be out of here in time for the big celebrations on New Year's Eve.
I know. Can't wait to see who's going to be rocking it out there in Times Square. Well, Winter Storm Freyr moving quickly into the northeast, definitely leaving its mark on the Midwest. And you definitely want to take a look at this video out of O'Fallon, Illinois, where you can see a light snow from Freyr that is coming down. And now, do keep in mind that we are going to be keeping the latest tabs on what is going on with Freyr here at the Weather Channel all day, with more in-depth analysis from our winter weather expert, Tom Nizzle. Taking a live look over Cleveland right now, and you can see where that snowfall is very much on the intensification. We've got areas of fog and certainly reduced visibility out there. We're going to continue to bring you updates on the Midwest as Alex is standing by with that here in just a moment. But first, we're going to bring you back into locations across the South and talk about, again, just what is in store for you coming up next. Now, do keep tabs on, again, what's happening, because our frontal boundary is quickly going to be exiting away. Do have some storms right now which are offshore, so anybody with boating interest definitely needs to keep that in mind. Heading up into the high elevations of East Tennessee, and that's where we do find the snowfall, again, very much on the light side, definitely not encompassing what we have across portions of the Northeast, to say the least. Again, shifting a little bit further south, and that's where we do have some showers off and on, which will continue in between Tampa and Fort Myers. As mentioned previously, our current temperatures are on the cool side across sections of the South, but we get down into Central as well as South Florida, and that's where we find our temperatures holding close to 80 degrees in Miami. And of course, we're going to pick it up to around 60 as we get into Orlando tomorrow. So that's going to be a far cry from where we are in the mid-70s for today, but obviously still not out of the woods yet when it comes to those storms. Much cooler air behind the front. We'll get away from some of the windy conditions that we've been pointing out to you across sections of the South, but get ready to see what's coming on board next. So we have to shift a little further west. So think about this in advance of what's going to be coming down the pike in the next couple of days. This particular system has a long way to travel, and we're going to find that working across southern and central Texas. Also, those of you in the Texas as well as Oklahoma panhandles are going to find quite an icy scenario setting up for you. And then, of course, lifting up into Kansas, we could also see an icy streak, which leads us over into Missouri, as well as across Illinois, and then, of course, portions of Indiana. Now, getting back to talking about where we fall across areas of the South, and this is where we're talking about that rainfall greeting you from New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. So if you're making those plans to do some running around, maybe trying to catch some of those New Year's Day sales, this is what you need to factor in. And we'll also be talking about some snow potential across the Mid-Atlantic as well as the Northeast. Alex, spots like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we've got a live look in and around Pittsburgh. You can see it looks like the roadways are shaping up pretty decently here, and folks are driving along smoothly, but there's snow certainly there on the sides. But again, right now, traffic moving at a good pace. That may change, particularly as we work our way a little bit farther on off towards the north and the east, as we actually see this thing strengthen a little bit. But right now, what we have ongoing is the snow, and you can see it stretching across sections of the upper Ohio Valley into Pennsylvania right now. now. Pittsburgh seeing some of those lighter snow showers that are in place and then tracking all the way on off towards the east. Temperatures for the most part are in the 20s across the state, heading towards the State College area, dealing with those 20s and some light snow. And then north we head, we're running into a little bit of snow in these areas as well. Not really seeing it reaching the ground as we work our way back into the eastern areas where you see some of the snow. Boston right now, just cloudy skies, but then get over towards Albany, some lighter snow, so it looks a lot worse than it actually is showing up on the radar right now. But again, we anticipate this to change as we work our way through the day as the system starts to move off the coast, and again, it strengthens just a bit out there for us. So again, snow is going to be the name of the game with Freyr, and we'll be tracking it all for you. Let's show you exactly how much we anticipate. This goes through Monday into the morning hours. Additional snowfall potential, maybe 1 to 3 in parts of the upper Ohio Valley. We'll start to see those totals coming down as, again, the system pulls further and further away. But off to the north and the east, into that 3 to 6 inch range. A lot of areas here through the interior sections of the northeast dealing with that. While in and around the Boston area, just south of you, could be talking 6 to 12 inches of snow in those spots. Let's time it out. New York City, you've got a StormCon value of 3, so impacts aren't expected to be that huge. But as we progress through the rest of this morning, in the afternoon, we'll see periods of snow, less than an inch expected for us again as we work through the morning. Then we get into the afternoon, snow picks up a little bit. Could see an additional 1 to 3 for us there in the city. Highs will be in the middle 30s. And then as we progress on into the overnight hours, that snow, well, it starts to taper off. We'll still have a few flurries out there for you with an additional maybe inch out there with lows getting into the upper 20s. So that's how it shapes up for you there in the Big Apple.
Back out to the front lines of Winter Storm Freyr, where Mike Seidel is joining us live from New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, just outside of the state capital of Harrisburg. And we've been talking to him about how often we've been seeing the snowplows tackling the snow that we have been getting from Freyr. Mike, over to you.
Hey, Danielle, good morning here from New Cumberland, and we're along the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and where it intersects with Interstate 83. There's ramps everywhere coming off the Turnpike, getting from 83 onto the Turnpike. What you see here in the foreground are the westbound lanes, which take you from Harrisburg out towards Pittsburgh and out through the Laurel Highlands, where they've had about a half a foot of snow so far. Trucks and everybody seems to be doing the speed limit. They have thrown a lot of salt on these roadways, and they were already salted twice earlier this week from 2 previous about 2-inch snowfalls here in the capital area. Snow now coming down moderate to heavy. Visibility at one point down to a quarter mile. We're about a half a mile right now. This is about almost an inch an hour, and we're looking for 2 or 3 inches. Look at the radar, and you'll see where it's coming in from the southwest, out of the West Virginia Panhandle, Hagerstown, Frederick, getting snow coming right up our way. Once this blob or this batch comes through, we're going to get a break, and that really is going to be about the most of the snow we see. We'll have some lingering snow showers through the rest of the afternoon, maybe a few flakes lingering even after sundown. Now in Philadelphia, where they haven't had their first measurable snowfall, it's snowing now at the airport and 34 degrees, so it seems likely that you'll actually get a little snow there. We're going for an inch or less of wet, slushy snow. Forecast today, the swath of snow extends from the Poconos now, moving into the Catskills, and then getting into Boston later on this afternoon, where we have winter storm warnings through tomorrow morning at 7. The storm is going to intensify quickly as it moves off the Cape. So there you can see some double-digit totals. Tomorrow, though, it ends in down East Maine in the morning. Otherwise, most of us will have a cold and bright sunny day with a fresh snow, some snow showers back around the lake. So, Danielle, it's a quick hitter. But as I mentioned, 3rd time they've had shovelable snow here in Harrisburg this week.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. And obviously so many schools are still out and lots of people taking days off before getting back to work and school later on this week. So we are going to see some changes by the time that happens.
Now your local on the 8s. A winter weather advisory is in effect for our area. Currently, the temperature is 32 degrees with snow. Here's our local Doppler radar. Today, snow likely. Some rain may mix in. High 32. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 1 to 3 inches of snow expected. For tonight, snow early, low 28. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of snow 70%. About 1 inch of snow expected. On Sunday, sunny skies, high 30. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And Sunday night, a mostly clear sky, low 24. Our 7-day outlook.